Hey everyone, it's Friday, May 15th, 2020. Welcome to episode 12 of the Ginger and the Beard podcast. Oh yeah, what's up guys? I'm AJ, aka the Ginger.
And I'm Reese, a.k.a. The Beard.
And if you're just tuning into the stream or you're listening to the recorded version of the show, we just got done having a ton of fun playing Jackbox Party Pack 6. I guess you can call it fun with viewers. If you want to see how that went and our thoughts on the game, check out the recording on Twitch or YouTube and make sure you check us out live next week as we pick another game to stream.
Definitely another game, I think, maybe. Yes, sir. We had a lot of fun playing that. So, let's definitely pick something new for next week, though. I think I think it's a good idea that we move on into the podcast portion of the show. There's certainly some exciting stuff to talk about. But before we dive into that, Mr. Ginger, how was your week?
It was good. This week went by kind of slower than the previous weeks, but it was pretty good. Today was so stressful, dude. So exhausting and stressful. Some days kids are little angels. Some days they're little hellions. Today they were little hellions, but we love them. They were just handfuls. It was a long day, stressful day at work, but we made it through. And I'm here right now with a nice, tasty beer by my side, talking to my buddy here,
Sweet.
the Beard. So I'm excited.
Dude, you made it through, man. It's
yes,
work weeks, I swear, and then. On top of work, you got to be at home all the time and take care of the kids. So I get it, dude. I get it. But we're here. We made it to the weekend. Thank God.
We did. And we got some beautiful weather. I'm so excited today. It's been so hot, and tomorrow's going to be hot. And my ginger skin it's just been so moisturized with all the sunscreen I've been using. And, I'm excited to spend the weekend outside. So
lathered up, dude.
If I look a little tinted today, it's because the sun and its UV rays have gotten to me.
The ghost of Ginger's past. Anyway, dude, I had a good week. Busy as always, right? It's always busy. I got fully back onto my whole streaming thing, my personal stream this week, which was nice. Played some games, had a good time with that. I don't know. It was busy. I finished The Office this week. My wife and we finished watching The Office.
Oh.
That was cool. It was kind of a bittersweet, right? I felt like once the last show ended, I felt like a big,
like an accomplishment, like an achievement.
No, the opposite of that. It was sorrow had just come over me. Yeah. So, but I don't know. At least it's over now. And I can move on to another show soon, right?
Nice.
So yeah, that's very good. But
do you know what's next on the list?
We started watching. Oh my gosh, Muggle. What is the show?
Ozark.
Oh,
Ozark.
No, we're gonna watch 2 episodes of Ozark this weekend. We still need to finish that. Yes, we are gonna watch Ozark this weekend. But it's something like Mincy. It's about this girl that basically gets kidnapped, and she in a bunch of sister wives gets stored beneath the ground by this pastor preacher guy, and then they find out, and then she gets released into the world, and everything's new to her. The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. That's it. The Unbreakable
Gotcha.
Kimmy. Have you
I've
heard of that
show? Yep. That's been out for a while, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been out for 3, 4, 5 years, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, what are you drinking, dude?
Oh boy. So you guys know me. Last week I switched it up. I had a beer from Smart Mouth, which is another local brewery of mine in Norfolk. But I actually didn't make it out this week to buy any new beer. So I still had some Farmhouse, and I don't think I've actually had this one on the show, but it is another beer from Farmhouse. It's an apricot. I don't know. You say tomato, I say tomato.
Yeah. Potato.
It's a triple. It's a triple, which we decided that's how you pronounce it before the show started. Not triple. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe. We'll
But
find
yeah,
out.
it's an apricot triple, which I looked up. It's basically like a strong lager, I think is what it said. But here's the description here on the back: brew with a juicy apricot puree. The apricot triple has a balanced tartness with a quenching apricot hit to your taste buds. This traditional Belgian triple is bright orange in color with a simply refreshing finish. And I've had this one before, so I can tell you without even cracking this open that it is mighty refreshing. It's not overpowered. Some of these fruitier beers you get, even like these fruitier IPAs, are just like just overpowering sweet or tart. But this one is just very subtle and delicious. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack this bad boy open.
Apricot's usually like sweet, right? It's like a sweeter type of fruit.
Oops.
Oh no!
Oh, I missed a little bit there.
I saw that.
It's all good.
Nothing.
No damage.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. It looks good.
Yes, it's very, very tasty.
Is it? It's like sweeter, right? Right on the
It is
keyboard.
sweeter.
No.
It is sweeter. Yeah, a little bit on the keyboard, but no biggie.
No damage.
We'll clean that bad boy out.
Okay, that's what's up.
But yeah, it's so good, so refreshing.
Nice, dude. Okay.
What about you, sir? What is the beer drinking tonight?
All right, so, kind of usually I do like stouts and whatnot, right? So tonight I'm doing a margarita gosa, by Cigar City Brewing, right? So this is like 4.2% alcohol. Usually I drink those like heavier type beers, and I wanted something nice and smooth because it's getting hot out.
Yes.
So this is a really kind of weird one that you probably would never see me drinking on any kind of normal day. But so it's Cigar City Brewing. It's an intersection of a traditional German brewing with some tropical relaxation built into it. So German style Gosa. Gosa is like an ancient style of alcohol production brewed with salt. So it's going to have a little bit of a salty flavor. So they use orange peel and some lime as well to create a perfect warm weather ale. So let's just see what this looks like, right? I'm interested to even know what this looks like. Okay, all right. I was expecting something a little bit more colorful, but this kind of just looks like a beer.
It
Just
does
a very
look just like a beer.
A murky beer, right?
Yes. So you
Little
did
murky.
venture out. You did venture out and get yourself something new.
No,
What was
sir,
that
I did
experience
not.
like? Oh, you didn't?
Nope.
What, did you order it?
Oh, yeah, they brought it to me, carded me at my door.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they literally carded me when they dropped it off. So
They saw that beer and they were like, "Are you 21?"
you look like you're about 20 and a half, sir. May I see that ID?
That baby face there is not fooling me today, sir, so I'm going to need to see some ID. So how is it?
Interesting. I think they could have added a little bit more margarita to it, because I'm not really getting that so much. I get I see what they did here, right? So I definitely get the lime. I get the salt, a little bit of the orange peel. I get it. It's a Gosa. Not my favorite, but we'll drink it.
That's right. It's
All right,
Friday,
man.
and we're drinking it.
We're drinking it. We're going to relax a little bit. So,
Yes.
do you want to hear about some beer news this week?
Oh, yeah, I do. I do indeed.
So, this is actually a beer that I wish I had like in front of me right now. So the brewery, I've talked about the brewery in past podcasts. They're a little bit newer. They come out with some really crazy, interesting stuff. The guy that does it is a master of what he's doing here. So the brewery collaborated with an ice cream shop, Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams, to create Hold the Spoon Black Chocolate Cake.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
Yeah, so let me just show you guys an image of what I'm looking at here. Hopefully this works when I transition over to the document here. So this is it. Hold the Spoon. Look at this can. We've talked about how nice it is to see cool looking cans, right? This one kind of just screams at you, drink me now. Enjoy the headache tomorrow. Right? Yeah, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So
Tasty. What's the ABV on that? I can't tell.
8.5.
8.5. Nice.
Yeah, so Imperial Milk Stout treated with mounds of cocoa nibs, pure vanilla, and a dash of salt. Okay, so this is their second collaboration. The first one did really, really well. It was an Imperial Blonde Ale inspired by flavors of Jenny's salted peanut butter with chocolate flecks. So I feel like I need to order this or something. I need to get a hold of it. I think Muggle, you and I would both love to have a can of this by our side. So, yeah, man. What do you think about that?
That sounds delicious. I see all these dessert stouts, stouts are some things that I haven't gotten like into a bunch, but I follow a bunch of like beer pages on Instagram and see so many dessert stouts, and like it literally like makes my mouth water every time I see something like this. And yeah, I mean, I've definitely gotten more into the stouts lately, so that sounds delicious.
Yeah, dude. I agree.
So
It looks good.
I think one thing that I need to like get more experience with is just like ordering beer. Like I don't think I've actually ever ordered beer online. I mean, I've done it a lot recently, just like placing online orders and going to do pickup, but I don't think I've ever actually had something shipped to my house. Um, and that seems like to be but people like trade beers all the time. Like some beers that you see that are only regionally distributed. I'll see some people like on the West Coast post something that sounds amazing, and they're like, a lot of them are usually cool to do a trade. Like you'll send them something from here on the East Coast that they can't get their hands on, and people will do swaps like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's something that I would like to dive into a little bit as well. But if you just want something from like Whole Foods, right? You can just go on Amazon. Amazon has some, delivery options. You can kind of just pick whatever, you would find at your Whole Foods, which is usually a pretty good selection.
Yeah,
You know, so take advantage of it. It's not a bad idea just to at least try it for once, right?
yeah, definitely.
And real quick, Deschutes Brewing is another a little bit more well-known craft beer company. They're coming out with a non-alcoholic Irish style stout, brewed with chocolate and roasted malts. Every can's going to be less than 5% ABV. So if you're a recovering alcoholic or just don't like the drunken or tipsiness part of drinking, then there's your option. I mean, you will get some type of a quality, right? Better than O'Doul's, I would say.
Nice. Have you actually
Yeah.
so less than 0.5%? Have you actually ever had like O'Doul's, or do you?
Yeah, I've had O'Doul's.
I've never actually even tried it myself.
I've had O'Doul's, which was pretty bad. But I've also had not O'Doul's, but I think it was Sam Adams had a beer that was. I'm pretty sure it was Sam Adams. It might have been Yingling. One of those two came out with one, and it was fantastic. I'm pretty sure it was Sam Adams, but yeah. So anyway, I definitely recommend checking out Deschutes. I certainly want to. But yeah, man, that's all I really had for beer this week. I was wondering if you wanted to move on, or if we should probably,
Yes.
transition over to some tech news. You want to do that?
Let's do that.
All right, guys, give me a little bit longer on this transition. I need to take care of something real quick. So give me about 20 seconds. 1 second. Hey guys, sorry about that. We are back for some tech news. All right.
Technology news.
Tech.
Got
All
some
right,
big
guys.
stuff in here. I'm excited.
Yeah, Facebook is to finally acquire Giphy, right? So all you Instagram users out there, you guys probably use the GIF function that's in Instagram. Facebook was partnered. Facebook owns Instagram. They're partnered with Giphy to provide that solution. And so now they're just buying Giphy out completely. They're going to own Giphy. And I think we're going to probably see some changes, maybe some additions that are going to be made on Instagram and Facebook. So it won't just be an Instagram function. It'll probably be Facebook. And there'll probably be some more add-ons. But more to come with that. Just wanted you guys to know that that's happening.
I love Jiffy, dude. Jiffy's like
Dude,
the
me
best thing
too.
ever. If you guys out there have ever used Slack before, I'm not sure if you ever used Slack before, but they have a
Mm-mm.
Jiffy command, so you can just basically do like a backslash and then type Jiffy and then type like a random word, and you can actually set it to where it automatically pulls in just like a random GIF, like I guess the top one for that word. And if you don't change like the filtering options, you can get some pretty risque gifs, which is
Oh
always
no.
fun, like in a workplace chat. So you have to kind of make sure you dial that knob back a little bit. But Jiffy's a
I
ton
have
of
that
fun.
in the. I didn't realize I have that in the Discord, but it's a
Oh, do you?
plugin. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a robot that like plugs into Slack and
Yep.
then does that. So that's cool. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, that's
um,
cool. Hopefully, we'll see what Facebook does with it. I mean, I think it's kind of perfect as it is now. So hopefully they can do something cool with it.
yeah, definitely. One plus eight. You talked about that I think last week, right? Was it one
We
plus eight
did.
that you?
Yeah. This just
So
came out a few weeks ago. The 1+8.
so so some of the more tech savvy folks out there have discovered that the One Plus Eight Pro actually has some X-ray vision. It has an X-ray
What?
vision filter built in. So if you turn this filter on, you can actually see through some types of plastic and clothing.
Uh oh. Uh oh.
Is that safe? Like, how is this even possible?
So I
Um,
read up on this. I read up on this as well. You sent this to me earlier, and I took a look at this. And there's actually a video out there now. If you guys haven't seen Unbox Therapy, the YouTube channel, I would definitely check that out. But Lou, who hosts that channel, did some tests on this, and he actually shows. Like, I think what he did essentially was put an iPhone box in his black T-shirt, and it has to be like pretty thin material. But he put like an iPhone box in his with inside of his shirt, and turned on this feature on the phone, which, to be clear, is not like an X-ray vision feature on the phone. It's just like the ultraviolet, I guess, mode, whatever it's called. But you can actually see through his shirt and make out what's on the front of that box. So the Beard's got it up on the screen now. You can actually make out the picture of the device on the box using that setting of the phone, which is pretty wild. So essentially what it's doing is there's ultraviolet, I guess, rays that the human eye can't even detect, but things like X-ray machines, obviously, infrared. I think infrared actually is the word I'm looking for. Infrared scanners, things can pick up on that. So the infrared capability within this camera's sensor can actually pick up on some of those rays. So what your eye's not actually seeing, the phone can actually capture. So that's what's causing this. And there's actually a really cool demonstration that they do using an Apple TV as well, because Apple TVs have a pretty thin black plastic housing around them. And using the phone's camera, you can actually see the internals of the device. So it's pretty wild. So I think this is honestly just kind of bad PR for OnePlus, honestly.
I think so. I think so, but I mean, everybody's gonna know their name if they didn't know it before, right? Because
True.
everybody's gonna be like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna buy this and, and have fun with it." Blah 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 blah. Let's see what happens, right?
There is a saying in the marketing world: no PR is bad PR. So yeah,
Exactly.
Reese got the picture up on the screen now, uh, courtesy of The Verge of the Apple TV. So yeah, let
Yep.
us know what you guys think about that in the comments below. I mean, I bet now, I bet with 100% certainty, now that people know this, with the OnePlus 8 Pro, they're going to be going around pointing that camera at stuff.
Certain
Hopefully
things
not
out in
being nasty.
public.
I
Hopefully
hope
not.
people don't do nasty things, but I wouldn't put it past them. Um,
Come
but
on
yeah,
now. Let's be
very
real.
interesting.
Let's be real. Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, and then I got one more thing I want to share, right? I just thought this was really cool. There's an R2D2 chore droid, right? You can't buy it. Somebody put this together. And just real quick, I just gotta show it, right? Just because it's so freaking cool. That this is something that somebody created. Just look at the stream. Anybody listening, and not watching the video, just look up the R2D2 robot
Oh
vacuum.
my gosh.
Look at this thing. This
Is this
guy's
3 robot vacuums connected together?
yeah. From what I understand, yeah,
Wow.
this is 3 robot vacuums, but it also like has like a water, like it has like a steaming function.
Okay.
associated with
So
it too.
yeah, we should probably read to find out exactly what it is. But those ones in the back actually look like the robot
Oh,
vacuums that have the steam cleaning functionality. Um.
actually, I think those ones in the back though are just wheels, and they just
Oh,
wanted to.
really?
I think he just did it to make it look like that. The only one that's
Okay.
actual like functioning is the front one. The front
Gotcha.
one is like the main one that's like picking everything up and also like wiping stuff down. It must be a pretty high. Well, but anyway, I want one of these.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you just love to have R2D2 roaming around?
that's one of them fancy vacuum cleaners. I've got one of those fancy vacuum cleaners, but mine's real dumb. It's real dumb.
Mine is too. His name's Oofy. So with a name like Oofy,
Oofy.
what can you
Mine,
expect?
mine's named Ziggy. It's because he zigzags through the room, but also Ziggy, like Ziggy Marley. So maybe he's just stoned all the time and he doesn't can't figure out where he's going.
Good point. That's
And like,
probably it.
just I was running him earlier today, and like he was in the middle of the kitchen floor. He had been running for like 10 minutes. Okay, mind you, I have two children who make messes wherever they go. So 10 minutes of cleaning in the kitchen floor is not cutting it, Ziggy. You know this. But like randomly, he just stops and he's like, doo 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 doo, makes his little beep noise like and it said completed a job. I was like, the hell you did? You didn't complete a job. So I went back there and pushed his button. I was like, you keep working, Ziggy.
Get back to work, Ziggy.
Yeah.
Is that
So,
actually
but
the
yeah.
name brand though? Just to clarify.
No, the name brand's iRobot.
Oh, got it. Okay. No, Oofy is the name brand. So like, how ironic is that? That like, Oofy
Oofy.
Oofy just sounds like you messed up, right?
Like oof.
Oof,
Yeah.
oof.
Yeah, no,
It's
when I
called
set mine up,
Oofy.
it asked me to give it a name, so I named it Ziggy.
Oh, got it. Okay, that makes sense.
But
Muggles, we're gonna have to name ours now. I mean, maybe we should give it a more sophisticated name. Maybe
I like Oofy.
it'll act better.
yeah.
We should
Nice,
name
man.
it Charles. If it's named Charles, it'll actually
Charles.
do its job well. Okay.
Oh man. So I've got a story here that's kind of interesting. I'm kind of over talking about the coronavirus and stuff. Obviously, we're all living through it, whatever. But there is like really cool stuff coming out of us all being forced to be home. So I think one thing we talked about a while back that was pretty cool was the NBA started doing live stream Twitch events and having the players play against each other. Like this stuff is like actually televised.
Right.
But another cool thing that I saw today was that there's a show called The Blacklist on NBC. If you guys haven't seen that yet, it's just kind of like one of those crime drama TV shows, whatever. But they were in the middle of filming their season finale episode when all this pandemic happened and people were forced to stay home. So now that the season finale is supposed to air, they kind of had to figure out, okay, well, how are we going to do this? We have scenes that we haven't filmed yet. So what they decided to do, and Reese, should we cue this up? You want to put it on yours?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm pulling it up right now. You want me to show the video, right?
yeah, let's show the video. We got a trailer here for the episode. Is they decided to fill the scenes they hadn't filmed yet, excuse me, with animation. So they actually partnered up with some of the people who were responsible for working on some of the more recent Marvel Avenger films to help them animate this stuff. So what you're seeing on the screen
Wow.
now, and if you're just listening to the audio version, they're intermixing live action film, whatever, like a regular episode of TV with animated video. So it almost looks like a comic book sort of style. It's like
Right.
low poly sort of design. It's not super high def. It's not super, but that's just how it's supposed to look. And obviously they had to animate this on a pretty short timeline. So they
Right.
actually animated full scenes of the show to fill in the space that they didn't have filmed, which I thought was super cool. And for this to be like a primetime NBC network show and them to do something so out of the box and creative, I just thought was like something we would never have seen that happen most likely if it were not for us all being forced to stay home. And if you're wondering how they got the scripts done, they actually sent microphones to the actors' houses and had them plug these microphones into their phones and record their lines to mix in with these scenes. So just a really interesting story.
That's really cool. I mean, bittersweet, right? Kind of bittersweet that we have to stay at home, but sweet in the fact that like it's kind of sweet that they did this. I feel dumb that I just said that, but really cool. I mean, I like the comic book kind of aspect to it. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing like an actual Marvel movie or a Marvel TV show with this stylization to it. I feel like that'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool style for sure.
Yeah,
So
I could do that.
I'm actually interested for the viewers out there. Would you leave us a comment? Let me know, like, what's the most creative thing that you've seen come out of this Corona COVID outbreak situation? Like the NBA 2K game was really cool. This animating scenes is super cool. Like, there's a lot of stuff that brands are doing out there to take the edge off of this whole situation for everyone and try to help us, life to continue on. So let us know in the comments for YouTube and send us a message on Instagram or something. Let us know what you guys think is the most creative aspect that you've seen come out of this.
Yeah,
But moving on from
definitely.
that, kind of rounding out our tech news section, we've got I want to quickly touch on some more hardware news. So Dell has released some new redesigned XPS 15 and 17-inch laptops. Reese, have you ever had your hands on one of these XPS laptops?
I don't think that I have. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I've only seen them like in stores and stuff. I actually haven't. Actually, that's a lie. I've seen some around the office. I know some of the people in my office actually use those laptops. But Dell has released new 15 and 17-inch versions, and in my opinion, just based on hardware and design and things like that alone, the XPS line is my favorite, I believe, PC laptop that they have out right now.
Okay.
Maybe coming in close second would be the Lenovo ThinkPads, just because of their keyboard. But so some big talking points here for the Dell XPS line. Number one, it's been redesigned to be even thinner. Compared to most 15 and especially 17-inch laptop models, these things are incredibly thin. And that's a little bit made even more possible now because they've gotten rid of all USB-A ports and they've replaced them with USB-C ports, just like the MacBook Pros. There's literally no other port except for USB-C and maybe a headphone jack as well. So you've got 4 Thunderbolt ports. If you're looking for a laptop that's not good only for productivity, but also gaming, I was kind of shocked when I read this line here in the article. You can actually put an NVIDIA RTX 2060 in this laptop. You can buy this laptop with an RTX 2060 inside of this thing. So for as thin as this machine is, that's
How?
almost unbelievable. I have no idea because I've seen your graphics card. Which RTX do you have?
2060. It's like this
The
big, dude.
2060. It's a monster, right? So I don't know
It's
how they
huge.
fit that graphics capability into that laptop. I have no idea. I'm sure you
Yeah.
pay a pretty penny for it, but so and paired with the 10th gen Intel i9 processor, 64 gigabytes of RAM you can put in this thing, and 2 terabytes of storage. I'm like, what else could you possibly ask for? Oh, sorry. Also, a 4K touch display. What else could you
My
possibly
God,
ask
dude.
for out of a laptop? I mean, that's a freaking workhorse, man. Like, what? I mean, I don't know what you couldn't do with that much power.
I can't believe Dell has like that level of quality, or well, that level of functionality, I guess you could say, or that hardware in there. I just wonder how like is it all put together really well? Does it feel good in your hands when you hold it?
I mean, I can't obviously speak for these brand new ones, but I have seen the old lineup before, and yeah, I would say it's one of the more premium options available.
Wow. Okay.
Very sleek, very streamlined. Dell's known for their screens that have almost zero bezel, and these are no different. So I'm excited.
Okay.
There's been a couple sorry, PC laptops that have come out that have made me consider switching from my MacBook. And the Lenovo ThinkPad is one of those, and the Dell XPS. I've always had my eye on the XPS 13 just because they're compact but also very powerful. So very cool stuff.
Wow. Good for if you were doing like multimedia. I feel like I don't know if
Yeah, I
I would
mean,
want a game on a screen that small, but you never know.
if you're traveling, if you travel a lot, and you're still trying to get your games in, then I think it'd be a great option. But yeah, I mean,
You know,
I can't. It can handle anything that you throw it at. I can't imagine what you could throw it at, and it wouldn't, unless you're like mining Bitcoin or something.
So I'm being devil's advocate, or call me picky or whatnot, but how does it like deal with heat, right? Because I mean, you have all of that going on in a little machine like that. That thing's got to get really hot. I just wonder what the heat output. Like, you could probably cook some eggs on that thing if it's got a 2060 in there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, and if it's like any of these other gaming laptops, the battery life would just die immediately. Um, so that would
It's not
definitely be
plugged
interesting to
in.
see. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. It's cool to see them, doing these types of things. They need to go talk to Elon Musk and get a hold of some of his batteries, right? I think that
Yeah,
he's really making some strides on batteries and whatnot. So let's see those get into some video games, right?
yeah, yep.
So
So I think
I
that about
think
rounds out
it's
the tech news section, right?
yeah, I think it does. I think we're gonna go ahead and transition again. So let's go ahead and let's move on. Let's move on. We'll
Let's do
transition
that.
and we'll be right back. And we're
Hello, we
back.
are back. Hey everyone. So guess what, Reese? It's our favorite time of the show. It's time for some UFC shenanigans. We've got lots to talk
Shenanigans.
about. So UFC 249, the mega show, happened this past weekend. I feel like
That
we
was awesome.
almost should have recorded our last week's episode on Sunday just so we could be like immediately following that monstrosity of a card. But oh my gosh, dude, we actually jumped in a Discord hangout between you, myself, and our boy Toby to kind
Yep.
of talk through it as it was happening. And we almost considered doing a fight companion, which now I kind of wish we would have because it was so much to talk about.
It
So, I
was.
mean, and speaking of so much to talk about, I mean, we could probably go on this thing for like 2 hours. So I think we're really just going to stick to the two main fights.
Yep.
So let's start first to talk about the co-main, Henry Cejudo versus Dominic Cruz. What did you think? What was your overall thoughts?
So like going into it, I thought that Sahito was probably gonna win. Like that was my expectation. I know
Yep.
that why is my mind blanking right now? Who did he fight? Sahito.
Dominic Cruz.
Dominic
Dominic.
Cruz. Why? We just said that. Anyway, why so Dominic Cruz is like a he's a tactician, right? He's got amazing fight IQ. He knows what's going on constantly. Uh, you know, so I didn't give him, I didn't really doubt him. I just thought that, he's been off for such a long time that I was like, okay, well, Sahito's probably going to
Yep.
win. He's been doing really good lately. Um, and frankly, he caught Dominic Cruz, and it was controversial, but when you saw him go down, right? If you look at his face, it was kind of like a Rocky 2 kind of face where he's like,
Yeah.
Adrian. That's
He was not in his mind. He was not in the right state of mind at that point.
yeah.
I mean,
And and Henry hit him with like 10 or 11 unanswered shots to the face. So,
yep.
you know, s- whatever, it's the ref's job to keep the fighter safe, and that's what he
Yep.
did. So, what
Yeah.
so how what was your thoughts on that?
Same as yours. I really did expect Cejudo to take it. I was excited to see Dominic Cruz. That was his first fight since 2016 in the UFC. I know he has a lot to bring to the table. I follow him on his social. I see how he trains all the time. I see how his footwork is still immaculate. And I think he was like maybe a year or two older than Cejudo, still like mid 30s. So it was a good fight, and I was really excited to see that one. I'm a huge fan of Cejudo Triple C. I think he's number one, super energetic, a really fun character to follow. Some people don't like that; it kind of leaves a bad taste in their mouth. But I was pulling for him going into it, and it was a good fight. It definitely delivered on that. And I kind of agree with what you're saying. The ref is there; he's got a job to do. So Dominic took. I'm pretty sure it was a knee to the face is what sat him down at first, and he took a good number of shots before they actually called it, and he was absolutely out of it. Um,
Yeah.
so for him to say at the end of it, he kind of tried disputing it to say, I told the ref specifically before this fight that to let it go until I, was out. Like, let me go out completely before you stop it.
Yeah.
Number one, like, that's dangerous for you. You want some brain damage. Here you go.
Yeah.
Number two, the ref you don't tell the ref to make that decision. As far as I know, there's no rule out there that says you can tell the referee, don't stop the fight until I'm dead, right? I don't think that's a rule.
No.
So I didn't really agree with his attitude towards the loss. I'm sure he, I'm sure he wasn't
probably
happy about
regrets it.
but
He probably
yeah,
regrets that reaction.
right. And it does seem like there was some respect after the fact. Like I've seen like following this, for the past few days after the fight, it seems like there was some respect. I think he congratulated Henry and things like that. So it was good to see that. But that's the outcome I was kind of expecting, and that's what we got.
It is. And then, a big announcement immediately after that is Henry retired. Henry Cejudo retired. So now we got 2 vacant titles. Who's gonna get the titles? That's another episode.
I mean, what are your like just like quick 2-minute thoughts on his retirement?
I mean, know. Is it a publicity stunt? I don't know.
Maybe what I was kind of thinking too.
He's still young. Why would he just retire right now? Or is he just trying to save face and just say, you know what, I got my money, let me run? I'm not aware. Does he have like investments or something that's like protecting him? Like, I don't feel like he's made enough money yet.
I mean, you've won 2 title belts, so I'm not sure what the purse was for those fights. I'm not sure what the purse was for this fight. I'm sure it was probably pretty big money. He's an Olympic medal. He has an Olympic gold medal. I don't know what kind of financial impact that has. As far as I know, he doesn't have like big endorsement deals or.
He's not making no Conor, John Jones, Khabib, he's not making that kind of money, right?
Yeah,
there's no way.
Mean, I guess I could see. I think they've had him on camera a couple times potentially. Maybe somebody tell me if I'm wrong on that, but I think they've had him on camera before for the UFC. So maybe he's looking to kind of take that Dominic role, that path, and maybe get into a different side of the sport. And maybe he's also just one of those guys who just wants to retire while he's on top. Like he doesn't want to go down the path that some others have gone, where they get on top, they can't get enough, and then eventually you see a downfall, and they can never call it quits. Like BJ Penn, for instance, he can never call it quits. He's still fighting. He's losing. He's having he's running with a law and stuff like that. So maybe he just doesn't want to be that kind of person. I kind of think there's some sort of PR angle involved just because of his personality. Like, it's weird for him to hang it up right now when, like, 2 months ago, he's literally calling out Amanda Nunes and saying, hey, I'll take your belt, right? So he just doesn't seem like that kind of guy. But you never know.
Also, I think you can't really consider him as, like, the greatest fighter of all time. He kind of considers himself that right now, and it's kind of like, you can't really consider him that because he didn't really defend his belts that long. And Demetrius Johnson, he came in and beat him in their rematch. He lost the initial fight, right? Demetrius Johnson's always been in the top, fighters of all time kind of thing until he lost to Henry. So Henry, if he wants that title, I think he's got to defend it for quite a bit longer than what he did. So who knows? We'll find out.
I agree.
You want to talk about the main event?
Yeah, let's move on. So Ferguson Gaethje, boy, oh boy, what a fight.
Yeah, man. What do you think about it? What are your thoughts?
I'm honestly shocked at the outcome. I wanted Gaethje to win. I guess I'm the kind of guy that just kind of roots for the underdog a lot of the times. So I think Gaethje came in. Obviously, we know what Gaethje brings to the table. We know how good he is as a fighter. But in the back of my head, I'm like, let's be real here. He's fighting a monster. He's fighting Tony Ferguson. What do you actually expect is going to happen? But he pulled it out, man. He pulled it out. He definitely dominated the entire fight. Like, I'm not sure there was a single round that Tony won that fight. I agree 100% with the stoppage. They maybe could have even stopped it a few minutes earlier, but again, I know Tony disputed that and wasn't happy about it, but you have to let the ref save you from yourself at some point. And we're going to talk more about that here in a minute as well with a different fight.
Yeah,
how about
dude, you? He took way too much damage, man. Like, that's like Muhammad Ali fighting George Foreman kind of stuff, dude. Mm-hmm. He got wobbled like 5 times. I've never seen him get wobbled that many times. And then when it was like the last time, he did some really weird movement. And it just looked like he had no idea what was going on. I think anybody in their in their right mind would have stopped that fight. And honestly, the refs, I mean, the corner probably should have thrown in the towel at some point. I mean,
Yeah.
Tony took some
Yeah.
permanent damage that fight.
Yeah, that head shake he did at the end, right before they stopped it, was definitely concerning. That's like some stuff you do when you're like completely out of your mind and not sure where you're at, you know. Um,
Right. Right.
and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't recall exactly how bad off he was because I'm pretty sure it was the fourth round they stopped it in, right? Was it the fourth round? I believe it was. I could look back here.
I'd have to go back. Yeah, I don't remember. I
I
had a
think
lot of fun. I think it was the fourth.
Yeah, I think it was the end of the fourth that they stopped it. Like, I'm not sure how bad off he was at the end of the third for them to actually throw in the towel and call it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, it was kind of hard to watch, honestly. But kudos to Gaethje, man. Sorry, I'm looking at it now. It was round 5, 3 minutes and 39 seconds into round 5.
Okay.
So, you know, if he would
I
have
think
survived a little bit longer, he wouldn't have gotten the decision regardless, you know.
no way. Gaethje won that whole fight through and through, every second of it. So I'm excited now. It sucks Tony lost his opportunity. If he would have just held out a little bit longer, maybe he could have fought Khabib, but who knows how that would have went, right? That was his opportunity. He had 5 times he tried to line up and fight Khabib and just could never get it done. And so now that he might never have the chance again. So,
so
maybe if,
I just want to say hats off to Justin Gaethje, man. I mean, I've talked about him many times before, like seeing some of his lesser hyped fights, and he's just an absolute monster. Like he's even quoted before, and he's not the only fighter to quote this, but he's like, I go into that ring prepared, or not that ring, the octagon prepared to die. He's like, I don't have a death wish. I don't want to die, but I'm prepared for that to be a possible outcome. And he's just got that killer mindset, man, but also very respectable as well. And his accuracy that he displayed in that fight was just like top notch. Like it doesn't really get
head
much
movement,
better.
foot movement. Yeah.
Yeah. And his just left hook is just brutal. He caught Tony with that left overhand so many times. And I can't wait to see him fight again. I think the fight between Justin Gaethje and Khabib, if they make that, which obviously they should,
they have to.
They have to, right? It's for the actual belt.
Right.
Hopefully we can see it sooner than later. That's going to be a hell of a fight.
Gaethje's the interim champion right now, right? He's the champion. Until Khabib comes back, he's the champion. So, I think that he lost against Alvarez and he lost against Dustin Poirier because he got carried away.
Yeah.
And his coaches were saying, calm down. This is, and he did, and he calmed down and he played it smart. And, I think the fact that he did play it smart is what won him that fight in the end. So I really want to see him fight Khabib. Khabib hasn't fought any good wrestlers in his past 7 or 8 fights. Certainly not the caliber of wrestler that Justin Gaethje is, and you guys have never even seen him wrestle. I don't think that Khabib's going to have as easy of a time taking Justin down. I'm very excited. I think that if Justin's going to represent America, man, I got my money on Justin in that fight.
I do too, man. I do
Toby,
too.
if you're there, never mind. Never mind. Anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's the interesting thing, though, is if it does go to the ground, we've got an All-American wrestler in Justin Gaethje. So it could be a nice wrestling match. So
Khabib.
Let's move on from that. What do you say? We had another fight on Wednesday night.
Anthony Smith, Glover Teixeira. Anybody
Teixeira
that watched it, knows what happened there. So, Glover kind of just mopped the floor, right? It was kind of hard to watch, actually. Anthony Smith, kind of got pulverized. I didn't catch it live. I watched some of the highlights. What are your thoughts, AJ, on how that went?
Yeah, I actually did watch this one. I did. I was so excited that a Wednesday night fight, which is unheard of, but the UFC is trying to catch up on their schedule, I think. I was really pulling for Anthony Smith just because I think he's a great guy. Seems like a very intelligent fighter, a very intelligent person. He's been on camera for the UFC as well, beside the octagon as an analyst. But I was pulling for him, but it turns out Glover is also a really nice guy. It sounds like, and has actually helped Anthony out in his previous career. But yeah, it was definitely hard to watch, and I feel like right now watching UFC when there's no fans in the stands or there's no audience in the stands is actually better for at-home fans, in my opinion. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that, but and the reason I say that I'll get to in a second, but yeah, but Anthony came out strong in the first couple of rounds, but really, and I'm not the one coming up with this, is the analysts, the commentators were saying this as well. His corner was pushing him to just come out the gate and just like nonstop, like he used up his entire gas tank, like in the first couple of rounds, and then after that, Glover just dominated the fight and he had nothing left. So yeah, Glover kept taking him down to the ground and pounding for a couple rounds, and really doing a lot of damage. He ended up breaking Anthony's orbital bone, his nose, and knocked 2 teeth out of his
Oh my
mouth during the
God.
fight.
Really?
Yeah. So this was a 5-round fight, and I believe after the third round, Anthony actually told his corner, he was like, "Dude, my teeth are falling out." He told his corner that. And his corner didn't do anything. So it's another one of those scenarios where it's like his corner probably should have stopped it. He was completely defeated at that point, exhausted, missing teeth, and was doing no damage to Glover. But they let the fight continue. And literally at one point, you can probably find a clip of this on YouTube if you wanted to. Anthony Smith picks up one of his teeth from the mat and hands it to the referee.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yes. His mouthpiece couldn't stay in because it was one of his back teeth that fell out and also one of his front teeth. So his mouthpiece wouldn't stay in. So he literally picked up one of his teeth and handed it to the referee mid-fight. And why the reason I say that this might be better for at-home viewers right now is because there's so much commentary that happens between the fighters while they're going at it. And what happened, I think there's also a clip of this on Instagram, I believe, on UFC's page. I think it was the fourth round. Glover is just on top of Anthony, has his back, and he's just
Right.
ground and pounding him, man. He's not putting a bunch of power into his shots. But at one point he literally says, "Sorry, Anthony, this is part of the job." And Anthony looks back up at him and he's like, "No worries, bud, it is what it is." And continues to get his face smashed in.
Jesus. I did not catch that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
cool
feel
as-
bad, but that's mad respect, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. It's like, do what you got to do, man. Like this is what it is, right? So you can't help but to feel bad that it went down that way. But
No.
good for
Anthony's a good
for
guy,
Glover
man.
to share. Yeah, he seems
it
like
is.
a great guy.
Glover hasn't had a whole lot of success recently, I don't think. I think maybe he's on a 2-fight win streak now. So good for him to get that fight, I think I agree with you. I think it's better for the viewers. That being said, guys, there's another fight tomorrow. Overeem versus Harris. Make sure to tune in. I think it's normal time, 8 o'clock. It's a fight night. So actually, hold on. It's 9 o'clock tomorrow. So tune into
Yeah.
ESPN 9 o'clock tomorrow.
I'm not sure what the 9 o'clock thing is about.
Yeah.
Because that was the same
know
way
either.
with the Anthony Smith fight night. It was a 9 o'clock start. Kind of weird.
Yeah. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of strategy behind that. But moving on, you ready to talk about some video games for a little bit? I think we got
Let's-
about 5 minutes we could spare, maybe, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's blow through it, man.
All right, guys. Be right back. Transition time starting now. All right. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time, probably like 2 minutes on each of these. You can
Yep,
go ahead and talk about Tony Hawk if you want real quick.
Let's do that. Let's
All
show it
right.
on the screen. All right.
Okay, I will. All right, 3, 2, 1. And we're back again.
Oh, he scares me every time.
Yeah, sorry. My face.
I just want to give a quick update. You guys saw me pour my beer. It missed my glass. That was definitely a good ending for the day because that's just the kind of day I've had. I poured it all over my brand new keyboard.
You poured it all over it? Oh, no.
I mean, it was like right into this general vicinity,
Okay.
and it wasn't a lot. It was probably like a tablespoon of beer, but
Yeah.
it still turns on. It still functions, but when I type words, when I type a key, it makes a lot of letters at once. So I will be disassembling this keyboard post stream, maybe tomorrow. I might save it. It might be a tomorrow project, and cleaning this out, and hopefully it will recover. So
Yeah, dude.
Keychron, I love your keyboard, and I'm very saddened deeply that I have potentially ruined it. So updates to
Hmm.
come on that. Maybe that'll be an Instagram story update. I'll put some videos up of the revival of this keyboard. Fortunately, I know an electrician. My dad is a electrician who works on microcircuits and stuff all the time. So if I can't revive it, maybe he can work some magic.
Little rice, man. A little rice here and there. You never know.
Yeah.
Good luck,
So
dude. Good luck. That sucks.
fortunately, I've got a backup. So all right. Anyways, moving on. Video game news. We love video games.
Woo.
I'm gonna kick us off here. If you guys haven't heard the news yet, there's a new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in the works coming out this year, I do believe, for PC and for consoles. This is called Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 Plus 2. It's literally what it's called. It's a remaster of the old school Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. And if you're like me, literally this was my childhood. I was a skateboarder growing up, still am a skateboarder, went for a skate today. And I loved Tony Hawk Pro Skater long before there ever was the EA Skate games. And you're seeing the video on the screen right now. This game looks amazing.
Oh, it's
The
showing the old.
graphics, yeah, the
Sorry,
graphics
go ahead.
look intense. It's showing the old and comparing to the new. So the cool thing about it is they're literally just like bringing it back remastered. You can play all the old skaters, Jeff Rowley, any of those old guys, Tony Hawk, of course, Bucky Lasik, tons of those guys. You use the same maps, the same skate parks, but just
Original
insanely
soundtrack?
new graphics, original soundtrack, and apparently there's been new tricks added into the game. So I couldn't be more excited about this. The one thing I'll just kind of say real quick before we move on to the next story, as we're trying to kind of wrap this up, but is I'll be interested in seeing how this compares now that we've played EA Skate, or I've played EA Skate, and it's 100%, like not 100%. It's a lot more realistic in how it's played. Like the mechanics of the game are a little bit more realistic. You're not jumping 60 feet in the air, and if you do, you have to do some funny stuff to make it work. But Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was not realistic at all. So you could manual for days across the whole game. But so I'll be interested in seeing how it feels playing something that's a little bit less realistic. So I'm excited.
That's exciting. You should stream it
I would
if you
love to
can.
stream that when it comes out, man. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you should definitely. That sounds awesome. Okay, well that's cool. I mean, I played a ton of Tony Hawk 1 and 2 when I was growing up too.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't I wasn't a skateboarder so much. I've skateboarded before, but yeah, I remember grinding for like 5 minutes straight and getting
Exactly.
like 200,000 points, like
Yeah.
hitting some records. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
So that being said, we got a little bit more news. Epic Game Store. Everybody knows about this. If you're a gamer, you saw it. GTA 5 went free on the Epic Game Store. If you didn't pick it up yet, you got to go. Just go get it. Just go get it for free. It's still free for like another 5-6 more days. Oh man.
Fortunately,
it crashed.
the
Go ahead. Yeah, you say it. Go
Fortunately,
ahead.
the Epic Game Store is back up because it was crashed the first day that it was announced. So many people rushed in to get that game for free, which why wouldn't you? And yeah, it's
It
alive
was-
again.
One thing that people might have missed though is once you download the game, you get a $10 coupon as well. So not only are they giving you a $30 game that was once a $60 game for free, they're also giving you a $10 coupon that can go to any game that's $15 or more. This release of GTA for free was to release a mega sale. It was to kick off a mega sale that's going to go through June 11th. And go check it out because you can get up to 75% on games, such games as Assassin's Creed Origins. Come on now. Rainbow Six Siege. Borderlands 3. Are you serious? Hob. I mean, just throw it in there, right? Hob's a fun game. Check it out. Watch Dogs. I've never played Watch Dogs. And then Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Are you kidding me? Guys,
That's amazing.
you're missing out if you don't check it out, right? They're trying to kill Steam. They're trying to come in, they're trying to take what Steam has done and do it better. And usually if you go on Epic, usually it's more premium games I'm seeing a lot more of, rather than, Steam's got all these indie games, and it's Epic is more of like the higher scale, you could kind of say. But great deals
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
I always recommend them.
Yeah, dude. I literally saw this a couple days ago, and I went to check. I just like to check to see what the free games are, and it showed like the countdown of they're gonna release a new free game soon, but they weren't telling you what it was. And then
Right.
you text me like 2 days later, like, dude, GTA 5 is available for free right now, and I was like, what? So that's what
Yeah.
the free game was, and they've got another one right now that's got a countdown on it as well. So I'm interested in seeing what that one's gonna be.
Maybe it's Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, right.
Just
That'd
kidding.
be
I
cool, though.
doubt it. No, I'd be surprised if they do another big game like GTA 5. I mean, that's
That's
pretty
huge,
big deal
man.
right there.
I downloaded it immediately after the store came back up and installed it overnight last night. Not quite
Oh,
overnight,
nice.
but I installed it. It took forever.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play it.
I got to make some room on my computer. I haven't installed it yet. So, yeah. Okay.
I think maybe we should try that out next week. Maybe that'll be our game next week where we run some missions.
I would
before the
absolutely
episode.
love that. I'm gonna install it this weekend at some point and figure out, because like I got to figure out which games to delete. I can't decide.
Yeah.
I'm so
So
indecisive.
tough.
Anyway,
impossible choice.
that's all we had, I think.
Yeah, I think that about does it, man. That about does it. So much to cover. I mean, we're trying to keep these episodes a little more shorter since we're doing the hour-long game stream before. So, for you guys, again, we mentioned it at the top of the show. If you haven't seen our gameplay videos, make sure you check those videos out, which we should be putting these little cards at the top of the screen to help you link over there. But if not, make sure you check out our channel on YouTube to find those gameplay videos. Again, like we mentioned, we played Jackbox with some viewers, our wives, some friends, and had a good time. So, yeah, make sure you check those out.
I think that's a good idea, and this is a good point to end the stream. Make sure you guys come back next week, Friday. We might be doing a little bit of side streaming later tonight, or maybe
Yes.
tomorrow. So guys, we've been putting a lot of work into this. It's been a lot of fun for us. But any support, follows. We're trying to hit affiliate. So if you know anybody that has Twitch and hasn't followed us, I think we're at about 22 followers right now. We need to hit 50 so that we can start to monetize. So guys, please help us out. We're certainly doing our best to be entertaining and to, have fun. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, that's all I had to say. Thanks, guys.
All right. R.I.P. Keychron K4.
Yeah.
Pour one out for the keyboard, just not on your
Pour-
keyboard.
Oh no. Oh no. All right, dude. I'm so sorry
right.
to hear that, but guys, you have a fantastic night, weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
Peace.